The Philadelphia 76ers made a huge signing over the All-Star break. We're going to talk about what that signing means for this season. Also in future seasons, it kind of gives you a direction or a sense of where the Sixers are headed towards in the future. There was also some, I guess, breaking news coming from the Sixers camp or coming from ESPN about Paul George and his injury and how he's been dealing with it, why he's been playing the way he's playing. We're going to talk about all that. I know I've been gone for a little bit, but we are back. Without further ado, here's the intro. What's going on, Cliffhangers? We are back with another video. We are still on the road to 5,000 subscribers before the end of 2025. So make sure you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button down below. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you like this Sixers content, hitting that like button tells the YouTube algorithm and the YouTube robot that you like this content, you want to see more. So make sure you hit that button down below. Also, become part of Know the Game. Make sure you never miss a video. Give me 200 likes on this video. Let's get into it. All right, so where do I want to start off? Right? It's been a season. I could just like the best way I could describe it. But yeah, I guess we can start off with the good news. The Sixers ended up signing Lonnie Walker IV to a 2-year, $3 million contract per Shams Charania. Lonnie Walker was playing overseas. I'm not saying that team's name because I don't know how to say it and I don't want to mess it up, but he was playing overseas. Lonnie Walker is a guy or a guard or player that a lot of Sixers fans wanted at the beginning of the season and also in the offseason just because of his athleticism, his ability to score, his catch and shoot ability, and that he is just a younger guy that you would obviously see that he fits with this Philadelphia 76ers team. So the Sixers finally went out and signed him. I will say we have had our criticisms about Daryl Morey all season and years prior to this, but he absolutely destroys it on the margins of what the Sixers team needs year in and year out. You can go back to starting with the Seth Curry signing. You can go back to him trading for Andre Drummond as well for the first time, and now getting guards like Lonnie Walker, Quentin Grimes, Jared Butler, getting young guys, understanding that the problem with this team was they were old, they were slow, and going out and getting some more younger athletic guys who play basketball and they're not often injured, and also getting them on longer term deals. And a guy like Lonnie Walker is definitely going to help, like I said, because of his athleticism, because of his ability to knock down 3-pointers. He shot 38% last year with Brooklyn, and again, a guy that everybody wanted in the offseason because it seemed like he was an obvious fit next to the Sixers team coming into the season with Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Paul George. But now you're going to have another guard, experienced guard coming off the bench, younger talent, and just a better overall fit with this team. Now, the thing that I wanted to get into with Lonnie Walker and the Sixers signing him is that it shows that the Sixers have realized their faults and I guess their problems or mistakes, and they're going in a specific direction that you can see that they're kind of leaning towards the future, getting this younger talent, Lonnie Walker, Quentin Grimes, Jared Butler. These guys fit on Tyrese Maxey's timeline. Now, I've said it before in the past in other videos how I think that they should move on from Joel Embiid. And if you don't move on from Joel Embiid, you have to kind of start, you understand that Joel Embiid's career is coming to an end sooner rather than later. So what Daryl Morey, what the Sixers front office is starting to do, they're realizing that, and they're starting to put younger guys around Tyrese Maxey just so you can see what a Sixer future could look like without Joel Embiid. Now, you can always arguably say this is what they should have done with Joel, but we all know that the roster construction around Joel has often been terrible in his Sixers tenure. I will never fault him for that. I will never fault Joel for a lot of things, right? The only things that I fault Joel for are kind of like the non-basketball things, because he is a great talent, MVP caliber, but it's like the injuries and the leadership, but things like that. Other than that, like, you really can't fault Joel Embiid for a lot of things because a lot of it really isn't his fault. But you can see that they're going in a direction for younger talent, more athleticism, more shooting, guys that can knock down, catch and shoot threes, guys that can create their own shot off the dribble, just a point of attack defenders. Like, you can just see, like, why didn't you guys go in this direction 2 years ago? Like, this was obvious, and I said it earlier, like, if you just let Sixers Twitter build out a roster, they could have built out a better roster than what Morey had put together over the past couple of seasons. Now, a lot of that isn't his fault, but that's a whole nother discussion. But as you can see, they're looking towards the future, looking to see, okay, what does a team built on Tyrese Maxey's timeline look like? And honestly, if we do move on from Joel Embiid, we still have these younger guys. And honestly, if Joel Embiid stays, and it does miraculously go right, and he doesn't get injured a lot for in the next season or two, can this be a championship roster? Like, we're just going to ride out with that. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, it does. But you can see that they're looking toward the future. They're gearing up for a possible situation without Joel Embiid, which they should have done a while ago, since you knew he was going to miss a couple of, like a lot of games, especially in this latter stage of his career. But I like what they're doing, man. Like, I don't really, I'm in this state where, like, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I don't really care about the Sixers anymore, just because of the way the season has gone. And it's just been constant negative throughout this entire season. Even when they do get on a run, or they do win like 4 straight, they just come crashing down. Like, when you have hope, they end it all really fast. And it's just, I just can't put that much emotion into it anymore. But, like, obviously I care about them. Like, they're my favorite basketball team. I love basketball. But, like, the state that I'm in with them is like, all right, even when the Lonnie Walker news came out yesterday, I was like, all right, whatever. But, like, I can, sleeping on it and realizing what they're trying to do, like, they'll be fun to watch, like, again, right? I guess, because they're going to have faster guys, more athletic guys, won't get out rebounded. Let me tell y'all this. I better not see Kyle Lowry on that court again. I'm not even mad at, like, Eric Gordon being on the court, because before the All-Star break, he was playing fine. He was playing great. I wasn't worried. I didn't care about Eric Gordon. But Kyle Lowry, every time he gets on the court, the Sixers start losing. It's just, and I think, like, that's like a proven fact. Like, he gives up a run, and it's all because of him every time he steps on the court. But now we're going to have, like, Quentin Grimes, Lonnie Walker, Jared Butler. You're going to have young guys who can handle the ball, create their own shot, knock down, catch and shoot threes. So I'm happy for that. You got Justin Edwards, who has become a real NBA player. Adem Bona, like, the young guys are really starting to show that they are NBA players, and you can see a future for the Sixers going forward. Now, negative news. Paul George. Again, remember I said the Sixers always, you come crashing down every time something happens. Over the All-Star break, it came out that Paul George said, or somebody from the Sixers said, that he was getting injections in his pinky to play. And it's like, what are we doing? And of course, this comes out after he has 2 points versus the Nets without Joel Embiid or Tyrese Maxey. That's very convenient, but that's a whole nother situation. But if he has to get injections to play, and Joel Embiid is barely playing, he still can't play back-to-backs. What are we doing? Why are we continuing to sit these guys when I think they are the 11th or 12th seed right now in the East? You're still fighting for a playoff spot, a playing spot. I get it. It's there. But, like, at what point is this a detriment to the future of their careers? Like, this is not if you're a front office, right? Or you're the general manager, this is not the very last season you're going to have with Joel Embiid and Paul George. Like, when you plan this out, you at least plan it out to have 2 to 3 seasons of Joel Embiid and Paul George. And even if you came into the mindset of this season, okay, this is a team that can win the championship, you still had to get continuity with this team. In the back of your mind, you probably already knew, all right, the first year, they're probably not going to be able to win the championship. They have to get continuity first in order to build that type of championship aura or a championship mindset that they need to go actually win. You wanted to see probably them make the Eastern Conference Finals this season. Fine, that didn't work out. But at this point, why are you continuing to play these guys when Joel Embiid said he probably has to get another surgery? Paul George is getting injections to play. Nick Nurse came out and said there's a problem with Tyrese Maxey. Why are you continuing, especially with the way the season has been going, at a detriment to the future or the long-term success of this team when you know you'll have Paul George and Joel Embiid here for at least 2 more years before you ship them off, right? So, like, just sit them down, play for a draft pick. I know you don't get that draft pick if it falls out of the top 6, but you're still in a position where you can pretty much get into a good spot to where you're like, all right, we know that pick isn't falling out of 6. So, like, why not just tank? If you know, make sure Joel Embiid and Paul George, these guys are healthy for the following season. That way you can go at it and you can give it 100%. You can still work the margins. Like you're able to acquire Quentin Grimes, you're able to acquire a Lonnie Walker, and you sign these guys to 2 years. I think Jared Butler just signed to a standard contract. You have young guys like Justin Edwards. Let the young guys ball out, get this experience, so that next year when Joel Embiid, he gets his surgery, he comes back fully healthy, and Paul George comes back fully healthy. You have a roster of experienced players that now know their roles when these guys come back. They have the confidence. They're going to be able to go out there and say, hey, we can win games with this roster, and this could potentially be a championship roster, and still work the margins and make moves. I don't know why they're continuing to try to push for this playing spot. Like, once Joel Embiid started the season saying he wasn't playing back-to-backs, he didn't start the season at all. He missed, I think, the first 13 games. You should have known, all right, this season's a wash. We're not winning a championship. We have to start looking towards next season, especially with the way that they were dropping games. But now it's like, it's one thing that Joel Embiid is going to miss games, whatever. Now your third co-star is getting injections just to play, and it's not helping the team. I was saying this a lot. Like, Paul George is better than Tobias Harris. I still believe that, just because of his ability to create shots and his ability to play make and different things like that. I still believe that. But the version of Paul George you have right now, because of the injuries, is not helping this team. So just sit him out. Sit Joel. Sit Tyrese Maxey for however long his injury takes to heal. Bring him back when he's fully healthy for this season. Let him rock out as the number one, and with the young guys, and then just see what they can do. Let them build their confidence. Let them just hoop, right? And then you just watch this season. You try to get a top 5 pick, and you can rock out. You still get a young talent in this rookie in a strong draft class. But like, them continuing to play Joel and Paul George, like, I'm not a doctor, but could this make it worse? We already knew the problem with Joel Embiid was he played in the Olympics. Then he came back too early for the playoffs. Then he played in the Olympics. He never had the proper time to rest his knee. The thing with Paul George is his knee. He started off the season injured. He didn't come back for 2 weeks. Then he had another knee injury. Then he had the pinky, and I think he had something else. It's like, all right, just sit him out. The basketball gods are telling you to sit them down and just rock out next season. If you still believe in this plan, you still believe in this team, let them come back fully healthy. Let them, I guess, participate in the practices so they're all caught up and everybody can develop this chemistry, and you come back at it next season. But them continuing to play these guys, like Paul George's getting injections, Joel Embiid still has to wear the big knee brace. He can't play any back-to-backs. Like, what are we doing? Bro, what's happening? But they have geared themselves up for the future, where they could still be a very solid championship team if they do bring back Joel Embiid, and we do get that version from Paul George last season. If they still have that version and Tyrese Maxey continues to grow, this could be a very solid championship team. They have so many guards, so many wings that they can match up with pretty much anybody in the NBA, especially when you have the 7-2 Joel Embiid. So, like, just rock out, just wait until next season, try to get a pick. But you can't continue to play Joel and Paul George when you're losing games when they're fully healthy, and it's a risk for them being injured long term. So let me know what y'all think. What do y'all think about the Lonnie Walker signing? What do y'all think about Paul George? What should the Sixers do for the rest of the season? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. I'll holla at y'all.